Hello, Summon Academy family. Mr. Wisniewski coming to you back again. We have our IXL tutorial. Primarily almost everybody, that excludes seniors with the exception of one, has a username and password for IXL. Now, in week one of your packets, you had the sheet that basically had your username and password along with some other instructions. So I've noticed people in the last few weeks, there have been people that have logged in and have done the work on IXL, and thank you very much for that. If you are able to go online and work on IXL, I highly recommend that you do this because we just need to make sure that we are practicing math skills as we are continuing our remote learning. So I know that in your math class that you're getting homework and things as well, but also that this is a good side tool to use to make sure that we're working on as many math skills as we can, okay? Because if we think about it, we can learn reading and writing skills in multiple classes, like science, social studies, and English. So, this is the same thing too. So I know you already have math stuff to do as well, but this is also an extra thing that we can work on to help improve our math skills even more. Okay, so in the sign in page, you're just typing your username and password, then sign in. Okay. So again, your dashboard is going to look a little different than mine. Mine, I'm able to see the progress that we've made and things like that, and how many people are on it right now, along with the people who've been answering questions. So that's on my end. And that part here is you're going to notice here once you signed in, right, there's like a search topics and things like that, but we also have three main tabs, okay? We have a learning tab, diagnostic tab, and analytics, okay? Analytics is basically going to be, of course, different than mine because it's going to cater to your progress and skills completed, okay? If I click on diagnostic, this is the part where if you have not done this, it's going to look something like this, and then this will say like enter the arena. And then you click on it, and it'll basically ask you a series of math questions. And once you're done, it's going to have suggested skills to work on. And once you're done with that test, all those suggested skills will basically pop up in this area here, okay? And even on your main dashboard, it'll have like skills to use as well, or skills to work on. Now, the learning part right here, learning is going to come up, and you're going to see a screen that looks like this. We only have IXL for math. In order to get it for any of the other subjects, you would have to pay separate licensing packages, and we basically have it just for math, okay? And with that, we can look at the grade level content, topics, and then skill plans, okay? The skill plans, again, you can click on if you like. It's just basically, I'll just show you very quickly. All it is just basically skills that are from like K to 12 textbooks and things like that. Again, something that we don't have, the Pearson textbooks that we use. So they're not in there. But if you want to look at other textbooks and how those align, they're glorified online textbooks that match the certain skill they work on in IXL. Let's go back to the grades really quick. The grades for IXL range from pre-kindergarten all the way to calculus, okay? Now, as in the freshman class, primarily it's Algebra 1. Geometry is for 10th grade. Algebra 2 is then for juniors. Senior year, you do more financial literacy items, but again, you could focus on pre-calc and calculus if you're somebody that's up for a challenge and want to work more on those skills. But again, our state test primarily align to Algebra 1 and geometry. So what is this going to look like? Let's just click on Algebra 1. Okay, so notice here in this part, okay, there are a lot of skills, right? There's over 300 of them, if you saw on the side. Are you expected to do every single skill and master it? No. But we are expected to at least get on here and just work on any skills that you feel like you need to work on, whether it be from your diagnostic test or your content knowledge test, or your based on your grade level, okay? Or if you feel like you still want to work on these skills as well. Notice here how some of these are starred while others are not. I would have to go in, and if I want you to work on a certain skill, like in this case, before the remote learning, I had freshmen working on these items during our time, especially the functions. The functions are something, again, I don't know what is so heavily relied on, but the state test functions are like one of the main chunks of the testing material. So that's why exponential functions was something to look at more. And again, so, as you're going through, you can kind of scroll on through, see if there's anything you want to look at, any skill that you want to complete, okay? And maybe if there's something that we're not doing so well in, maybe like solving equations or solving variable equations, something we can work on more there, okay? So you can do that as well. Topics is basically, well, is what it says. We have skills that range from addition to estimation, all these things, everything here. So if you're like, man, I really struggle with graphing items, then you can click on work on graphs. Or integers, having negative and positive numbers in the same realm, you can just go there. You can work on any skill you want. Now, if you do click on, so let's click on integers. Notice here that we have, they go off the grade level bands. And just basically what that means is that if a grade level works with that skill, then that's what's going to pop up here. So in integers, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and Algebra 1 all go off of some point of integers, okay? Now, let's say we want to try to then pick on one of these skills and then kind of work on it. And let's just okay, let's see here. Underlines, subtract. Okay. So then we do this, okay? So if we click on one of these skills here, as soon as you click on a skill, this is what your main page will look like then as you're working through. It will tell you how many questions you answered, how much time you have, what's your SMART score. And what they're looking for is every time you get a question right, you're getting points for it. If you're getting a question wrong, you don't really get points. If anything, I think maybe like just one. But obviously, if you're getting questions right, you get a lot of more point value. So you're just trying to reach a good level of mastery in the end, okay? So this is what your page looks like overall. So the question's asking, is -1 times -24 positive or negative? So we have to think about this. If I'm multiplying a negative times a negative, I'm actually going to end up getting a positive. So I'm going to select positive and I'm going to submit. And then it's going to say super, which means you basically did a good job. Now, I know what you're wondering, Mr. W, what if, as I'm going through this, I get a question wrong? Is it going to at least, do I know or am I not going to know? And that's another good step. So let's answer this one incorrectly. So if I have this number here, is that positive or negative? I'm going to say positive. Okay, so notice what happens here, okay? Oh, actually, look at that. It actually dropped our score by 1, but that's okay. At least it didn't, take away enough. Okay, so incorrect. So the correct answer is negative. That's what they said. They said this was your answer, and then it goes into this nice 3-part segment: review, reminder, and solve. All right, so you're taking these two numbers and you're going to divide them. One's a positive, one's a negative. So this is what you answered. So when two integers have the same sign, the quotient is positive, and then it kind of gives you this setup here. When two different integers have different signs, it is actually negative. So in this case, positive divided by a negative is negative. So then as you're going through that, you go, okay, got it, and then you move on. So, and then you get to this next point, you're like, and then you do this, and you're like, okay, positive, great job. And as you keep moving on, just keep working with it as you're going on, okay? So, and then it'll, it'll collect the data and, show me that you're working on this skill. You answered a certain many amount of questions in this certain amount of time. So again, just, if you're able to do this, try your best at getting 30 minutes, 3 days a week. And if you feel like that's too much, try just 30 minutes for 2 days a week, okay? But at least try to get on here and just try to work on more math skills, because again, math is something that always has a logical starting point and a logical ending point. It's just getting there for a lot of us is the challenge. And that's okay, because again, math isn't easy, but there is always a logical solution to get where we need to be. It's just sometimes getting there is a very hard hard time to get to. So this is why the more practice we are on here, the better we are at our skills. Okay. Well, I do appreciate your listening to this tutorial. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Goodbye.